Hey, pilot, welcome back to Ready for Pushback. I'm Nick Fialka. It's a solo show. It's a great day. I hope you are having an awesome day because you're listening to my show. I certainly am.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
I want to revisit my series on virtue because I think that's fun and cool. And today's conversation is a really crazy, difficult one for pilots. It's all about humility. Man, humility. Wouldn't you know, the thing that we are not known for. We always like to talk about ourselves. You know, it's actually a really important part of aviation because it's all about having a modest view of yourself and being able to encourage others. And the reason that's important is because the more you can encourage, the more opportunity you will have to pull out the best part of another person. And that is just a fantastic, fantastic opportunity that you have. A lot of people think about leadership and what leadership is, and humility doesn't usually come into that word, does it, right? People think it's all about being on top, standing above others, but really what it is standing with others. Because when you are with somebody, you can help lift them to a greater height. You can serve people. It becomes cliche with the term servant leadership. There's actually really funny video of some captain going on the microphone on a plane and telling everybody he's their servant leader. Which is the exact opposite. If you guys can probably find it on the old YouTubes or Instagram. I recommend it. It's kind of cringy. But if you lead with humility, you see leadership as a responsibility to serve others and not really as a position of power. And that, one day you're going to be a captain at some airline and you need to have that mindset, because if you can help focus the people on your team, then they will achieve their best. And you'll find that they'll go way above and way beyond for you. And when you are a person that is humble, that lifts others up, you will be successful. One of the biggest things you can do is listen before you speak. Rolling in hot and just talking at somebody does not build rapport. I want you to encounter somebody that you are with and listen to them first. I want you to value their voice. When you listen to them first, they understand that they are important. So take time to hear their ideas. Take time to connect with them. Introduce yourself. Be kind, be courteous, smile. Ask them questions. Because when people feel heard, they're more engaged, and then they're committed to help you share that vision that you need. And some point in your career, you're going to need everybody on your team around you to work together. And that's how you build it. That's how you bring it together. I want you to embrace vulnerability. Don't be afraid to show that you don't have all the answers. I think about that flying the other day. We were climbing up. We were on top of some nasty clouds. There was a big storm below us, and our max altitude we could fly to, I think, was like 40,000 feet, and we decided to go to 38,000 feet. But it was so turbulent up there that the aircraft started working really hard to maintain airspeed. And because the air was so thin, it was difficult to maintain that airspeed. The throttles kept moving forward and forward and forward. And my first officer looked at me and said, "Man, I don't know if it's holding." And I said, "You're right. We need to talk to ATC and descend now." And we went down about another 2,000 feet, and ATC gave us our spot. We went down. The aircraft performed so much better. It was still bumpy. It was still rough air, but we were able to, keep the aircraft safe because of his idea, not because of my idea. I wanted to climb up. And be up there. And he saw like, hey, this isn't going to work. And I agreed with him and I listened to him, and we took that information together and descended down, and he felt heard. He felt empowered, and it was a great opportunity because our culture and our ability to learn and work together increased because of that, because he felt empowered. And that's what you should do, is empower others and help them know that they can help make the decisions to keep everybody on task to get to be successful in whatever the mission is, and do the right thing. Because when you lead with humility, you build leaders around you. Because those people sitting next to you, whether it's a student or a first officer or just a buddy you're flying with, like, they're going to have the responsibility someday, and you want to empower them and you want to help them grow. And when you lead with humility, you help foster that growth. And that is so, so, so important. And then it will also allow you to stay grounded and not think that you are the best thing in the world, because no matter how successful you become, remember, we all started in the same spot. Stay close to the fact that we're always learning, and that we are imperfect people that make mistakes. And be approachable in your conversations, because if you lose sight of that, your leadership is lost. But if you continue that, the people around you will flourish and you will be a better leader. It's true. It's really hard to say, especially to my military folks that are just like been doing the leadership thing for a long time and kind of have this mindset. But think about those leaders that are around you that are the greatest leaders, the best. Those are people with humility, that drive with humility. It's really the mark of a true leader. It's not about being the loudest or the most dominant. It's about guiding with empathy. It's about your integrity, and it's about your commitment to the well-being of the people around you. Those people, if they think your focus is their well-being, they'll do anything to make sure that you're successful. And that is where you win with humility. It's a tricky thing to manage. It's a tricky thing to practice. But if you do it incrementally, little by little by little, you'll be better at it. If you've ever seen people listen and nod their head and let somebody else start and let somebody else talk first and make sure that they are heard, those are the people that get the most out of their team. And that's what I want you to encourage you for, because it's going to come back around. Someday, you're going to be in an interview and somebody's going to ask you about leadership, and somebody's going to ask you about how to articulate who you are as a leader. And without saying the word humility, you can negotiate the path to have them understand that you are a strong leader because of those precepts of humility that you bring forward. And that's going to be so effective, and that's going to help you exponentially in this aviation community. So I want you to focus on that this week as you're going about working with people, working with other pilots, working with those around you. All the encounters that you have, lean on humility first, and you will succeed. And I think that's probably all I've got to say. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of the show. If you haven't already, swing by Apple Podcasts, write me a review, Spotify, give me some stars, all the things. Like, that's so important. Help other people find the podcast. Tell somebody about the podcast today, man. That's so cool. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening to the show. I'll see you on the next episode. Hey, pilot, before you go, make sure that you take a quick second, like and subscribe to the podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're listening on one of the podcast streaming services, you guys are the best. So please like it, subscribe to it, and maybe, if you have a chance, write a quick review and tell everybody what you think about the Ready for Pushback podcast. Thanks.